Okay, if there's one word to describe episode 4 of Free Dive to the Future, this entire episode, it's messy. It was messy, especially what Hiyori told Haru by the end of this week's episode. Now, I know there are people out there who don't like Hiyori's character based on the first episode, but I'm sad to say by the end of this week's episode, it kind of just amplifies people's hatred of him by tenfold. Especially what he told Haru. Like, I had to rewind that particular scene because I was so shocked that he would actually say something like that. So this was the episode where they went to Ikeya and Hiyori's university in order to confront Hiyori. And the way I'm looking at it is, it's not that they'll become the best of friends again or something of that sort, but it's basically to talk about the whole situation, something very adultish, and to apologize what they did because they didn't hold their promises. But it's not particularly their fault, but they feel that, you know what, in order to rectify what had happened, it's best if we just confront it, talk to the person who was involved, and whatever happens afterwards happens, so let it be. But time and time after again, we have where Hiyori is being that middleman and is not allowing both the parties to communicate. Personally, to me, the way I'm looking at it is Hiyori is doing more damage than good. Because the further he's trying to separate these two sides, he's actually hurting Hiyori in the long run. And we're seeing where Hiyori, after he actually met Haru back in the second episode, everything that is happening from middle school up until now is actually affecting him. And I truly believe Ikeya is going to have to take it upon himself to find Haru and the others and talk to them without Hiyori even knowing. Not only that, in the beginning of the episode, they were mentioning about the Little Mermaid. I think everybody that was seeing that, if it wasn't for the voice, we would have thought it was a total different show. Because at first I was saying, hold on, what's this? This isn't Free. Until I heard Ikeya's voice. Now, there's some, theories going around. Of course, there's always theories with Free. But in case of the Little Mermaid, it links back into the opening where we saw Hiyori looking at that glass window from the bookstore and this mermaid tale. And then of course we come back into this episode, the very beginning, where Ikeya is talking about his favorite story, The Little Mermaid. I don't know. I'm probably linking Ikeya towards The Little Mermaid, where in the original story, in order for the Little Mermaid to survive on land, she had to kill the prince. So does Ikeya represent Lil M and Hiyori is the prince? Not only that, does it also link back to episode 2 where Hiyori mentioned about something along the lines of forgotten memories, forgotten phone? Because it may have been where Ikeya had forgotten that Hiyori saved him back in America from dying. So I don't know how to tie these in. We'll need at least another episode or two to actually make the connections, but that's only in due time. But he did try to stop them, and so in order for them to so-called talk to Ikeya, he issued a challenge. And originally it was supposed to be against Haru, but instead we have him versus Makoto, which we haven't seen Makoto in a competitive sport in quite a while because he's going to become a coach for young children. That's his dream goal to do for his life choice. So he and Hiyori actually challenged each other in backstroke, and we don't really know who won and what he said by the end of the episode. But before I get to that, it was mentioned how Sosuke, he went for another doctor's visit, how he may be able to swim, but there is some conditions that have to be made, and my guess can be is he has to do surgery. Now, while I'm happy on one side, I'm kind of scared, like, why they're trying to push Sosuke so hard to go back into competitive swimming. Why not let him just fully, completely, heal his shoulder and try to look for a different alternative career goal. It doesn't have to necessarily be competitive swimming, but something towards swimming, like a coach, a medical assistant, something of that sort. A sports therapist, something along those lines. And he can still be with Rin, probably not in the competitive world, but he still is close to swimming. But that's just me. That's just my 2 cents on the whole ordeal. It's just up to KyoAni on how they want to deal with Sosuke's character due to his shoulder injury. So back to the point. After the race between Hiyori and Makoto, even though we don't know who really won, Makoto was actually a pretty good sport about the whole ordeal. He was actually happy about swimming against Hiyori, but Hiyori he didn't really show the same type of attitude towards Makoto. Now, he did give them the ordeal about what happened to Ikia in America, and then it was this part, these few lines, which I'll paraphrase it for you, that really made me have to sit, pause the video, then rewatch it at least 2 to 4 times, because I could not believe the words that are coming out his mouth. I mean, he was pretty slick throughout the episodes, but it was really what he said that shook me to my core. He told Haru, now I'm paraphrasing, that your swimming makes others suffer. It's because of your swimming others suffer. And I'm like, did he really just say that? Did he really say that everything that happens is Haru's fault? And when you really look at it, Haru doesn't want to hurt anyone. He just wants to be an ordinary guy. And people bring it upon themselves to cause a problem with Haru, okay? Because Haru never asks to, hurt anyone or distract them from what they're doing. And problems arise due to his swimming, but that's out of Haru's hands. He just loves to swim. And the fact that Hiyori used that as his weapon, meaning he knew what happened to Haru when he went against Rin back in middle school, that caused the swim team to break apart due to him leaving and such, and everything that has happened. He used that as an assault towards Haru, and it hit him where it hurts most. And he had such a yeah, I told you so, and walked away. And I was like, did he really just do that? And now this has shaken Haru completely to his core. Now, it's either Haru has a breakdown, or he legitimately takes it upon himself to confront Hiyori for what he says and find Ikia somewhere and really lay it down towards him. And it's also up to Ikia to actually tell Hiyori that, I appreciate everything that you have to do, but I need to do this myself. So this may also break Hiyori, but there's so much going on, especially because of this episode, that at this point I don't know what to make of the story. I don't know what's going to happen for later episodes. But this was a messy episode. So if you guys saw Free Dive to the Future episode 4, do leave a comment down below on how you felt about this week's episode. What are some theories that you have going around, especially with the Little Mermaid, Sosuke's shoulder, what Hiyori said to Haru, how this can affect for the rest of the story and future events that's happening in it. And the links are in the description box, so you guys go check that out. And I'm Kimmy Chan of Anime Legends Podcast, and I will see you guys later. Bye!